Hey there, it's me, Matthew. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Last time we talked about one of the miracles Jesus performed, the feeding of the 5,000. Jesus wanted to show people that he cared for them and that God cares for them. And he definitely did that day. Today, we're going to be talking about another parable. Let's go. Bible. Story. Time. Bible story time. Let's recap what a parable is. A parable is a short story that teaches a moral or spiritual lesson. And today's parable is the parable of the talents. Ooh. And it can be found in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. Now, the word talent doesn't mean what you think it means, but I thought it would be fun to bring someone in who is pretty talented. His name, Other Matthew. He's like regular Matthew, but with a weird hairstyle and super talented. So without further ado, here's Other Matthew. Hey, it's me, Other Matthew. I'm here to show you some talents. Here's me juggling. Impressive. Here's me humming and whistling at the same time. Crushed it. Here's me not blinking for 6 seconds. Radical. Okay, bye. Oh, wow. Impressive. Other Matthew's so talented. Now, the talents Jesus was talking about in this parable were a set amount of money. One talent was worth 20 years of wages. 20 years of work equaled one talent worth of money. That's a lot of money. Now there was a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to each according to his ability. To another 2 talents, to each according to his ability, and to another 1 talent. To each according to his ability, and then he went away. The servant who received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he received 5 more talents. The one with 2 talents worked and made 2 more talents. And the one who received 1 talent went and dug a hole and hid the money. After a long time, the master of the servants came and settled accounts with them. He who had received 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 more talents, saying, Master, you delivered me 5 talents. Here, I have made 5 more. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Master, you delivered 2 talents to me. Here, I have made 2 more. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Master, I knew you'd be a hard man, reaping where you do not sow and gathering where you do not scatter seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your money in the ground. Here's what's yours. You wicked and slothful servant, you know that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was mine with interest. Take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken. And cast this worthless servant into the darkness, into the place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Pretty interesting parable. Question! What do you think the parable's lesson was? Talk about it. Jesus was trying to tell the disciples and the people listening to this parable that what you do with what you have matters most. In the parable, a man entrusts his servants with his money. 2 of the 3 servants use and manage this money well, and they get more money. And when the master returns, he praises them for what they did, the work they did with what they were given. And they are given more. And then the 3rd servant just digs a hole, buries it, and then gives it back to the master, not using what he was given. And the master casts him out. Now you may be saying to yourself,
Matthew, no one's ever gonna give me large sums of money, so what does this have to do with me?
well, I'm glad you asked. In the story, Jesus isn't really talking about money or talents. He's using that as a representation of what God has entrusted us with. God has entrusted us with a whole bunch of different things, like actual talents, skills, abilities, time, opportunity, relationships, and yes, sometimes money. Right, the point of the story is how we use what God has given to us. Right? So do we use it to help others and love others? Do we use our time to spend it with God and share God's word with other people? Or do we make the most of the opportunities that God puts in front of us? Right? God gives us each of us, a unique set of skills. And just like in the parable, one person got 5 talents and the other got 2. And the outcome for them was the same. Right? The master came back and said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have used what you've been given, so you'll be given more." And now you might be saying to yourself, well, Matthew, I don't think God has given me any talents or abilities or anything. Or you might be thinking to yourself, my talents and abilities aren't as good as so-and-so's. And to that I'd say, don't get bogged down with comparing yourself to other people. Because God has given us all unique set of abilities and skills. He's made us all unique with our own set of abilities or skills. So don't get bogged down with comparing to others. It's gonna eat you up inside. And if you don't know what they are, I would encourage you to make a list, right? Write down, I am good at, I am blank, right? And come up with a list of things that you're good at, because I'm positive that you are. And it's what matters most, just like I've been saying, what matters most is what you do with the gifts, talents, resources, time, opportunity, relationships that God has given you. A final thought for us today. How are you going to use what God has given you? Right? If you're good at baking, are you going to bake cookies for your neighbor to show that you care for them? Or are you going to use your awesome math skills to help others learn how to do math? But there's a lot of ways to use what God has given you. And they don't have to be extravagant and extreme, big things. They can be small, everyday things to love others and love God. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!